The Hamas-controlled Gaza Health Ministry says Israeli forces have killed over 6,000 Palestinians, including 2,700 children. You've previously asked Netanyahu to minimize civilian casualties. Do these numbers say to you that he is ignoring that message?
What they say to me is I have no notion that the Palestinians are telling the truth about how many people are killed. I'm sure innocents have been killed, and it's the price of waging a war. I think we should be incredibly careful. I think not we, the Israelis should be incredibly careful to be sure that they're focusing on going after the folks that are propagating this war against Israel. And it's against their interest when that doesn't happen. But I have no confidence in the number that the Palestinians are using.
So they released the file with all the people who've died so far in Gaza, basic information, blah, blah, blah. But then this table down here is what really got my eyes. It says the age of the people and their name. And I was like, oh, I got to check this out, see what the average age is. So I take it into Excel and I just did a quick pivot table of how many people died by age. And if you notice, the top age is 5, first of all, which makes up 5%. And if you scroll all the way down, that row 19 that's in Adobe, it just means under the age of 1. Excel doesn't translate well for Adobe to Adobe. But yeah, the top 18 rows represent people under the age of 18, and they actually make up 75.8% of the people who have been killed so far in Gaza. Tell me you're not attacking kids.
Doctor, the numbers are coming from the Gaza Ministry of Health. Hamas runs Gaza. But what do you make of that? How accurate do you believe the numbers are from what you've seen?
I think President Biden is basically telling the Israelis that they haven't killed enough Palestinians yet, and that there's more room for more slaughter. This is the catastrophe here, is that the foreign press are prevented by the Israelis from coming in to seeing the bodies that are piled up in the morgues, to seeing the daily mass graves that are being now dug, just to look after all of the all of the dead that are being taken out from underneath the rubble. When I drove over a week ago from northern Gaza to Shifa Hospital to escort a patient, every time you drove past a building that had been attacked and demolished, the stench of dead and decaying bodies, you can smell it in the ambulance as you drove by. It's estimated around 1,500 are still under the rubble, in addition to the around 6,000 who are killed. 17,000. What President Biden has just described. I've just finished operating on a 13-year-old boy. He's the same age as my youngest child. And he has full thickness burns in his face, both upper and lower limbs. His mother is also very severely burnt in over 50% of her body. Trying to explain that not enough of that child, there are more of Anas, the boy, there needs to be more of him injured and suffering for this war to be stopped. I'm trying to figure out what is the quota for Palestinian blood that the American administration wants for it to force the Israelis into a ceasefire.